Hello class, Mr. F here, and I wanted to invite you back to the greatest art room in the world. Today I'm really excited because today we're going to be going over something called tessellations.
Tessa, huh? Tessa what? Tessa, huh?
Tessellations. You see, tessellations are pretty cool, and they're defined by being the tiling of a flat surface using two or more geometric shapes without any spaces or gaps. In fact, I'm pretty sure you've seen tessellations before.
Like these tessellations here in concrete. And tessellations on a turtle shell. And of course, tessellations in honeycombs.
Now, in the mid-20th century, there was a guy named MC Escher who turned tessellations into these really cool forms of art.
Here's one from MC Escher called Two Birds, number 18, made in 1938, 14 Horsemen, number 67 from 1946, and Birdfish, number 22 from 1938. Wow, that is awesome.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Man, these tessellations look really difficult and kind of involved. But actually, they're not that bad. And today, Miss Alia and I, we're going to show you how to make one of your very own. Let's get started.
Your first step after you've received your 3x3 piece of paper is to write the word spot right on it. S in the upper left-hand corner, P is going to go into the upper right-hand corner, O in the lower left-hand corner, and of course T in the lower right-hand corner. This is going to make a whole lot of sense in just a minute. Next, we're going to draw a horizontal line. Now you don't want to draw a straight line, you want to draw a line that's got a little bit of movement to it. Curves, zigzags, diagonals, those are all great. But you don't want to go with crazy zigzags, and you don't want to go with loop-de-loops. Next, we're going to go with a vertical line in the same manner. It's going to have a little bit of variety. After that, we're going to cut along these unique lines that we've made in order to create 4 separate pieces. Now you got to be careful. Cutting along the lines is super important to making an awesome tessellation. After you very carefully cut along the lines that you've created, take your 4 pieces and realign them so that they spell tops. T-O-P-S. Now, it's very important that these pieces are aligned and secured as perfectly as possible. So start by using a small piece of tape to join 2 pieces together at 2 sides. This will greatly help you to create an ideal tessellation template. Now, after you've carefully taped together the 4 pieces, flip your template over and then use bigger pieces of tape for extra added stability.
Great. So now you've got this tessellation template, and maybe at first it doesn't really look like anything. But this is the part of the project where you gotta bring your artistic A game. Let's see what I come up with.
On an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, the first thing we have to do is trace around our tessellation template. We're going to do this 3 times, rotating and flipping it over each time before we trace. The reason why we're doing this is because we have to figure out what image we're tessellating before we can start the final project. Use your artist's eye and allow yourself to imagine the subject that your template shape might contain. If you don't see anything at first, don't panic. Using your creativity this way takes practice. Keep looking at your template shapes and see what's there. And if you need to try to rotate your template more than 3 times, that's great. The more ideas, the better.
Alright, so now that I've made my designs, I've decided to go with this little turtle guy right here. I think he's going to be a pretty cool project to work on. Now is the coolest part, the easiest part, and the most fun part of our entire project. Now it's time to tessellate!
On an 11 by 17 size sheet of paper, take your selected template orientation and begin tracing with a pencil. By sliding your template up, down, right, or left, you're going to find that your shape will fit perfectly next to itself. Congratulations, you are now tessellating. Remember that throughout this process, careful tracing and a keen focus are the key. After you've completed your tessellation, trace your pencil lines with a Sharpie pen. After you've carefully inked your shapes, sketch your tessellation subject inside each shape with a pencil and ink over those too. Now remember, each image does not have to be 100% identical to the others, but try your best to get it close. After that, you can now color your tessellation using marker and/or crayon. As you can see, I decided to use both. First, I outlined with a marker, then I colored it in with a crayon. It's a great way to make your project pop.
And it is just that simple. It's time for me to let you get started on your own tessellations. Don't hesitate to raise your hand if you need any help. Miss Alia and I are around to make sure that your project is a success. This has been Mr. F, reminding you to rock on with yo smock on. I'll see you guys in just a second.